Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the New Zealand Tall Ferns. Oh, both these teams coming off defeats. The North Koreans falling in a close from the Chinese Taipei. New Zealand crashing to a heavy defeat to China. Here is the lineup for today. We just watched Australia get a big win. Following this one, it'll be Japan against South Korea, and then China against Chinese Taipei. That sounds tasty. That'll be the last one of today. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mick Bett, and as we look, Mick, at the standings, China right up at the top, along with Chinese Taipei, although Chinese Taipei can count their lucky stars that they're up there.
Yeah, what a great game it was yesterday with North Korea just not quite getting over that final hurdle, having led most of the game. 35 minutes, I think they must have led. Big win for New Zealand needed today, Jeff. They did their scout report. They would have watched yesterday's game with North Korea and realized 2-3 players need to be taken care of, special attention paid to. And head coach Kennedy Kiriyama, we spoke to him afterwards, he was fully aware of what the proposition was ahead of him. He was very confident, mind you, and he is expecting a better performance today than what he saw against China last night.
Well, hello, welcome to Bengaluru, India. It's the FIBA Asia Women's Cup, and the game between New Zealand and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. New Zealand being introduced to the crowd. Any expectations for you, for New Zealand coming in, how they're going to approach this game?
They're going to come out normal, hard-nosed, come out with some grit and fire, that's for sure. They need a win. If they go down today, it will be a semi-disaster for them, I'm sure. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as they think it's going to be. They're going to have to apply themselves. They're going to have to take care of the North Korean shooters. And specifically, they're going to have to take care of Rowe, the number 12 for North Korea, who operates around the low and high post, who I thought was outstanding yesterday. For North Korea, what has yesterday's game against Chinese Taipei taken out of them? They were a couple of players with cramp at the end of the game, so therefore you have to question their conditioning and fitness coming in. But you know what? They play with a lot of fire and spirit. And there is 12 Rowe going onto the floor right now. Outstanding performance with it. 35 points, I think it was. It was 32 points in the end. It was just tremendous.
Well, we're going to have the playing of the national anthems for both of these teams, New Zealand and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Please rise for the national anthems of New Zealand, followed by DPR Korea.
So the players and the coaches meet, exchange pleasantries. Anyway, the referees, Cornelio, Baig, and Lim from the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Didn't see the coaches shake hands before this one, actually. Not sure that's normal protocol. That is normal protocol, but I'm not sure that it was followed. Anyway, we're going to see the rosters for both of these teams. Kennedy Kariyama's New Zealand team. You know, you and I both agree, really, Mick, that Jillian Harmon, number 12, perhaps needs to be a little bit more selfish, looking for her shot early on for this Tall Ferns team to be successful.
I think you'll find that today, Jeff. She was lacking yesterday in intensity in the first half. She came out second half a little stronger. Michaela Cox didn't play particularly well yesterday, but came out with pretty good numbers with 11 points in her 32 minutes. Now, you're going to see a lot more, I think, dynamic start from this Kiwi team to begin the game, and that's what's
so you saw that starting five. Purcell, she can stay out of foul trouble. She's obviously a player that can really help them a lot, as well as Palva. For Korea, you can't look at this team and still not be in awe of Chol Sung Kim's number 12 row. She was phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah, and 32 points for her, scoring from everywhere. She'll play
number 12 there.
12
She'll
there.
be along with Pak, Kim, Jang, and Kim.
And number
Jang
8
fouled out.
Number 8
yesterday.
Kim there was 7 of 9 from the three-point line. So watch out for that too. I think fouling out for Jang was crucial for North Koreans late in the game because they struggled to find a second guard on the floor, which caused turnovers and ultimately cost them the game.
So New Zealand, you have to say, would be making a major mistake, and I don't think they will, of coming out flat today after yesterday's disappointment. China they just beat them in every aspect of the game, although Tony Edmondson did have some big moments. And again, Rowe, look at the numbers. 36 points, 14 to 17 from the floor, and 4 rebounds. So, just an incredible performance from her.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it during the game. She was just going from strength to strength as the game went on. And I don't know. One of the things we talked about yesterday, Jeff, was did New Zealand know where they were attacking against China? And that is something I'm going to be looking for today to see what areas they want to make or want to emphasize in terms of their offensive production. Obviously, Jillian Harmon needs to be a factor. And we mentioned that Edmondson's very good at putting the ball on the floor. They have to go to their strengths early on in this. Interesting, Jeff, that the stats that came up there were for Rowe were 36, but the stats online have Rowe down for 32 points. Now, remember, there was a bit of a controversy about how many fouls she had yesterday, whether it was 4 or 5 late in the game. So whether that's been readjusted at points accordingly, I don't know. But 32 is the official line for her.
Well, Asia is always an interesting place to travel. The mystique, all these interesting things. We were absolutely shocked when she re-entered the game yesterday. I think the only way we can figure it out actually is if we actually go back and watch the replay. See Purcell, Edmondson, Harmon, Palvost, and Cox in the starting 5. Of course, Cox and Harmon were in the 2008 Beijing Olympic squad for New Zealand, so they've got a lot of big-time experience. And I think these North Koreans showed us what they were made of yesterday. So good afternoon, welcome to Bengaluru, India. It's the day 2 of the Fiba Asia Women's Cup, and it's New Zealand taking on the North Koreans, and right away Harmon,
well, she
just goes hard.
She got the memo, that's for sure. Memo or email that went out last night. You got to score, buddy.
She took it, and they can't mess around. Oh, look at Purcell, reaches in, knocks it away. Tony Edmondson has it in the open floor, and difficult start here for the North Koreans. Cox from the corner, and the ball rattles out, but New Zealand being very positive here early. So good sign for the Tall Ferns. Harmon steps up.
Jeff Harmon needed a drive there off the left hand. Another couple of dribbles. She'd have got right to the hoop. Got another easy bucket. She can settle for the jump shot, but she got to be careful. Nice play.
Rowe. Didn't see that happen very often yesterday. Miss it. That was a wide open layup. Paul Voss, meanwhile, drives in and scores. So that's great. And you know, Mick, we were talking as we were walking over to the arena today. Which of these teams might have a harder time getting over yesterday's defeat? Would it be New Zealand, who were soundly beaten, or will it be North Koreans? And it looked like good defense there, but
Michaela Cox has just
Pat
got
was
a
fouled.
hand in the cookie jar. I'm not sure why you want to reach in that situation. And
Well,
you can see on the far side, Kiriyama's upset with that. Timeout straight away by North Korea.
no, they don't mess around, do they?
No, they do not.
Is she aware of this? She only has how many and a half? She's only got a few now. Come on. Anyway.
I'm not sure what she sees now after a minute and 12 seconds. She didn't see at the start of the game, but anyway, here we go.
Well, to be fair, you can't argue with how she used her timeouts yesterday because she kept her team in the game, really.
Yeah.
She was good.
Oh yeah. I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to find out what she knows now that she didn't know a minute and 12 seconds ago. I don't sense that they've come out lackadaisical. They're on the free throw line for 2 shots.
Close out once the guards clear through. Obviously on the catch, close your space afterwards. Offensively, again, so right now we've got some good stuff out of screen. We'll show the side. Let's see if we can get to corner quick. So still see the corner quick. Yeah, press break, ready.
1, 2, 3, yes!
So using up one of her 2 timeouts here already. To sharpen the focus. Of course, New Zealand will probably burn a timeout or 2, so she'll get to talk to her team then.
I think sometimes you have to put faith in your starting 5. They're a starting 5 for a reason, because they show leadership above the other 5. Perhaps they're your most functional 5, the most economical 5. I always used to say a timeout before 5 minutes means the starting 5 haven't done their job, and you might be looking to take your first timeout after the 5-minute mark, but no.
I think she need to sharpen the focus a little bit as well.
Again, so why couldn't you have done it to begin the game? If change the defense though, Jeff, that's for instance a 2-3 zone.
Well, sometimes you need that little bit of extra tongue lashing. Paul Voss open, short.
Well, the test in the water. Can this New Zealand team shoot?
Tony Edmondson up on the baseline. And no box out. Paul Voss sneaks in there, gets the offensive rebound and put back.
Korea very short, very small on that weak side rebounding.
It was a weakness yesterday as well. They gave up a lot inside. They were out rebounded. Here's Rowe.
I think she was fouled twice, wasn't she? She's claiming she was fouled on the shot, forgetting the fact that the whistle went when she drove past Purcell. Yeah.
But this is, I think, where Purcell has to be really smarter. She needs to be on the floor.
Yeah. Well, Rowe's a good player. I mean, Rowe can drive, that's for sure. And she drives hard.
Well, here she gets into the lane. Now they pass it out, and the three-pointer off target. And Cox goes baseline, gets it in with a reverse layup.
And that's exactly what you want to do against the zone. Beat the zone down the floor. You don't have to worry about setting up in your three-point shooting.
And Zhang called for kind of what we would call palming the ball, carrying it. Well, look at this Cox.
Yep.
Sweet reverse. She needs to see the ball fall into the hoop as well. She had a real struggle yesterday offensively.
I don't see how Korea can stay in the zone because they're too small at the back. Right in that position there.
Well, they get it to mid-range jumper, and Harmon off target. Now it's Edmondson from the corner.
Well, right now there's no signs that this New Zealand team can shoot, so stay in the zone as long as you can get your rebounds.
And this is where New Zealand were very good for really the first 15 minutes or so of the game. This end of the floor. And nevertheless, Yang drives in and puts it off the glass and in.
Well, when she fouled out yesterday, Jeff, they definitely missed that element of security offensively.
That score is wrong. Obviously, it's 8-4 in favor of New Zealand.
Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties we're having here with the graphics.
A couple of gremlins
Substitution
around
in the
the
game.
arena.
Kim's come out, which is interesting.
Paul Voss cross court, and the pass was read.
Well, there's 5 Kims on this team, so when I say Kim's come out, that means there's 2 still left on the floor.
Now Paul Voss. Oh, they find Purcell right inside of Purcell, missed a layup.
And gets the foul, Jeff. Unfortunate for Kalani Purcell.
And that's where, if you're Kennedy Kariyama, you think, I can't.
Well,
You just put your head in your hands.
That'll change. Everything was right except the finish on the layup. That won't happen every time. So I think you have to look at the positives there.
But again, you give away those early fouls, and you find yourself out of the game. She'll be coming out.
Though, yeah.
First 4 minutes of the contest. So Kim hands it off. Rowe drives in.
And you know what? Rowe had an easy layup. Purcell couldn't even go near her. That would have been 3rd foul if she'd even gone close. So good spot from the North Koreans.
Paul Voss from the left. And buries a three-pointer. So that'll calm the nerves a little bit for New Zealand, but I think they're waiting for that dead ball to get Purcell out. Because otherwise they're going to exploit her with Rowe. Look at this. Gets inside again, puts it up, and this time good job from Purcell getting a hand up, and maybe Rowe, she'd had it back, she would have attacked the basket.
Yeah, Korea wouldn't mind one more offense against Purcell, I think.
Edmondson from the left, again, it's going to be short. And that triggers a little break here for the North Koreans. And good hands from Cox to knock it out of bounds.
And a great opportunity now. Edmondson will come out, Purcell will come out. And replacements, Taylor, Natalie Taylor, and Jessica Bygate.
Just really, it's even though New Zealand have those 11 quick points, you see the struggles that they have. That was a big 3 that was hit by Paul Voss. And mid-range jumper. And offensive rebound for Rowe. Kim, that's off to the left. And good box out there from Paul Voss. She's got to be careful how she swings those arms. Taylor is going to drive in, and she's going to miss the layup. Boy, New Zealand leaving a lot of points out there.
Yeah, they just need to settle down. Just calm their nerves a little bit. There's Bygate.
Cox drifts in, puts up a little runner.
Boy, their percentages must be horrendous, Jeff. They're getting enough shots.
And now the bounce pass to Rowe. And Rowe, again, just didn't finish.
Well, everything that went in yesterday.
Oh, beautiful cut. Good hustle from Harmon.
That's great running from Harmon down the lane.
That's
Just
really their
kept
best
running.
offense, isn't it? It's trying to beat them down the floor.
Well, and how many points they got up? They must have half their points off just pushing it down the floor, getting an easy shot.
They had the Cox basket, now the travel.
Now, if they can get a good offense here, look, there's Harmon running. Nobody picks her up.
Great find by Paul Voss as well. But, you know, if New Zealand had hit their layups, they could be up easily double digits, maybe 14 points. Although North Koreans have also missed a couple. Bygate gets inside, follows, and she might come out as well. Now the drive.
They got a foul on that one, just a little nudge as Kim went baseline. It's gone against Jessica Bygate.
So Josephine Stockhill is going to come in for Bygate.
Yeah. Didn't get much love there, did she, Bygate? One more offensive move that didn't go in.
Well, they're just going to have a quick word, maybe reinsert it. Kim for 3. And perhaps New Zealand riding their luck a little bit because those shots were falling yesterday, especially for Kim. Harmon, she had a good look.
She's got to keep shooting. She's got to keep shooting. Just keep it moving. Just keep that offense flowing. Everything's got to go through her, really.
She will get hot. Well, Cox gives up a foul.
Look at New Zealand. Look at fouls, Jeff. That's the 15th foul for New Zealand and 0 for Korea.
So now Korea can do some damage at the free throw line. Now, we liked how the backup guard, Georgia Agnew, played yesterday, and she comes into the game early today.
I don't think she played the first half yesterday, did she?
No, she came into the second half. Yeah. Polvas needs to be strong here.
I know Pak Hyang-jong on the line here was something that Kennedy Kiriyama pointed out as being a very good shooter. But she didn't show very much yesterday, only scoring 9 points. So maybe today's a big game for her.
So Polvas goes out. You almost wonder if the North Koreans might be able to put a little pressure on this New Zealand team without Cox being in there.
Jeff, it's a good point. You know, come back into a zone. If you're going to play zone, why not put pressure on to begin with?
Taylor over to Edmondson. And they seem content to be putting up the threes.
Yeah, they're struggling from the three-point line. They got that 1-3 from Polvas.
Now Taylor's going to launch one. And Stockhill goes up for the rebound.
They get the 3rd offense on his trip right now.
I'd like to see Agnew stroke one. I saw her hitting him in practice. Well, nice, strong move from Stockhill.
And that'll be Rowe's first foul, I think, Jeff. So keep a count this time.
You know, when you're struggling and you're trying to kind of find your rhythm, it's just little things like that. You don't see the ball go in the hole. You miss a couple of free throws, you miss layups, and it's just kind of snowballs almost. That ball almost went over the line.
We only had 2 players in double figures in their 48 points yesterday.
A good rebound from Edmondson. That was a brick. Edmondson is attacking, and Rowe held her ground.
To me, Jeff, Edmondson's the only player that will attack the hoop off the dribble in the half court, and they need to make more of it. They know Rowe's
good D
right.
from Harmon, moving her feet.
She's only going one way, Jeff, right.
Harmon this time goes to the rack, misses, follows up a shot, puts it up, and she will go to the line.
And she's going to earn 2 points the hard way because she had a tough shot that didn't go in, then a rebound that she couldn't quite put back in. And she needs to just concentrate on these free throws. First time she's been to the line in the tournament. Then that surprises me. You play against China, you're the best player, and you don't get to the free throw line. It says a lot of things there, and
I think it says a lot about China more than anything.
You think?
Ott comes in. Well, I mean, they were big, they were strong, came at them in waves. Defensively,
She played 27 minutes. And
yeah,
you
it's
don't
true.
get to the free throw line.
You would think that you would. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, you're the best player.
What, you're just thinking that she didn't attack the basket enough?
Absolutely. Yeah, settle for jump shots, yeah. You know, and especially the first half where she deferred to others way too often.
I saw a few Australian fans there in the stands. They're pulling for the Oceania boys.
Here's the
girls.
zone we saw yesterday.
Rowe gets it in the lane.
Jeff, there's more holes in that zone than a leaky bucket, I'm telling you. Just there's no way you should be giving up layups against the zone.
Ott for 3. Good! I tell you, they've hit a couple of timely threes that have just kind of stopped the momentum of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Is that the longest name here?
Straight off the bench with Rebecca Ott there. That three, much like you said, Jeff, much welcomed.
Oh, good hands that time from Harmon, but wasn't able to, or didn't grab it.
Well, so far, Rowe has been completely corralled. They know full well she's going to drive right every time. So Rowe now needs to adjust, maybe jab step right and go left. We'll see if she's got that adaptation in a game.
Yeah, I agree. I think they know how Rowe wants to go. And you get a couple of threes, though, to fall for the North Koreans, and that could change everything.
Yeah, exactly right. 7 points with I mean, it seems like New Zealand have complete domination of the game, but look, 17 points, 7-point game. Anything can change, and it can change quickly, too.
Edmondson comes out, Paul Voss comes in. And the penetration, the drive, now Pack has it. She's going to put it up, and Ott reaches in and fouls the three-point shooter.
I don't think there comes any more a poorer foul than the fact that you foul a shooter reaching for the ball.
With 1 second on the shot clock. Wow. Behind the three-point arc.
Yeah, anytime. It's even worse, yeah, with a second to go. Exactly right.
So this could now become a 4-point deficit. That's the mental part of the game. You got to play smart, you got to play aggressive, but you got to know the situation.
Kerry Armour's saying to the referee,
it was on the line, excuse me.
He's saying it was all ball. I mean, regardless of whether it's all ball or not, you reaching, the referee's got to make a decision.
Yeah, it was probably a bit harsh on Ott there. Now the ball goes off of Stockhill's hands. She's got to catch that ball. Now North Korea look for another opportunity to get closer here in the final minute of the first quarter. Zhang out to the perimeter. And Harmon grabs it now. New Zealand with a chance to run. They're not going to hold it for one, or will they? Yeah, they'll probably hold it for one now. About a 4-second differential in the game clock and shot clock. And Paul Voss took it with a lot of time left. And nope, she missed it.
Jeff, that was the bizarrest thing I've seen. You take a shot that early and you give a chance for a Korea to get a shot off. The shot clock was still running, even though it should have been turned off. Bizarre. Anyway, 17-11, New Zealand over the Democratic Republic of Korea.
선수가 있다고 이 팀이 치치는 거가 공 갔다가 반대로 대가고 넘어가야 되는 거야.
So as you look at the highlights here, Jillian Harmon getting going early. But Mick, you know, it's interesting. Let's go back and say we were talking about Harmon and not getting to the line yesterday against China. And perhaps if there's one criticism that you would have against New Zealand, even though they're going up against the zone of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is maybe they should take a page out of Australia's book and really look to attack the basket more.
Yeah, I think so. There's no doubt about it. You know, maybe I'm being overcritical, but if I'm looking at my best player without a free throw in the game against one of the top nations in the world, what tells me is you're not really taking the fight to the other team. You're settling for jump shot, which was Jillian Harmon's game yesterday. Now she's just had a move where she's got to the line. You know, an old credit to her, and hopefully that will lead to more chances and more opportunities to get into the free throw line. But you look at that 17 points. They've hit 2 threes against the zone. I think North Korea are going to stay in this zone. I don't see any reason why they want to come out of it. And they've just got to hope they can make a couple of threes down the other end to get themselves, make this game a little more interesting for everybody. Or for themselves. It's already interesting for me.
So Purcell has come back in, and she doesn't want to give away any cheapies, and she wants to finish. Well, they're looking at it. They're going to take a jumper, and that's just not good.
Well, you got Purcell, the tallest girl, taking the jump shot. No rebounders.
Hey, fine. Now this is much better. Cox open and off the back of the rim. And Harmon was fouled by Rowe.
So second foul. No, take it off, Jeff.
Is that the second?
The second.
Okay.
Now, look at the way they're playing here, Jeff. They got Jillian Harmon playing low post. I would put Jillian Harmon high post and let Purcell go low. But Purcell's on the high post. Now Jillian Harmon's coming high here. Now, can they get to the ball?
Cox, it's on line, and it goes. Gets a little bit of love
White
from the rim.
Feet first and then dropped in. I like it. Is that Cox's first three? I think 3 players now with a 3-point reach. Got Ott, Palvast, and Cox. Again, great defense. And Rowe has not learned. She's not learned to say, I got to go left because they're predicting me going right. Here she goes.
Oh, she was bumped there. Good job defensively by the Tall Ferns, but then they ride their luck as Zhang missed the layup. After Purcell, you got to hand the ball off to the guard. Purcell open, feet set, different shot than the last time.
Yeah, they got their confidence up now. That's a 5-0 start to start the quarter. All of a sudden, we got a 2-1 differential on the score.
And this
third foul for Purcell here.
Unbelievable.
Well, she plays hard, Jeff. You got to.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking unbelievable how that could happen. I mean, it's just like.
Well, you know, that's the way she plays.
Yeah, you got 3 fouls, and you can't foul that far away. And I think I agree with Carrie. I'm not sure about it.
Well,
I think it's a tough call is what I'm saying.
She's playing basketball, and she's just been unlucky. I will say in basketball, out of the fight now, Rowe's gone left and spin to the middle. Great move.
Oh, terrific play, and Harmon couldn't have done anything else.
That's much better from Rowe. I like that. There's a little bit of versatility for you.
Cox goes baseline, but then loses it.
Jeff, go back to that third foul for Purcell.
Watch this.
Now watch this. I'm going to go left this time. There you go. Spin to the middle. And Harmon hands up with Purcell's third foul. I always say with 5 fouls, you're going to get 1 unlucky foul. So therefore, you can't waste them. Now take Purcell's 1 and 2 fouls. Were they wasted fouls? Yes, quite possibly.
But this is something we said before the game. She's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
Pack again pulls up from behind the line. That was air ball. She grazed the outside of the net.
So it's not quite a net ball.
This is an important period of the game as well, with Harmon going out of the game, replaced by the veteran Taylor, another of those 2008 Olympians. And actually Purcell's sister. And Paul Voss caught the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a bad error, isn't it? That's just one of those errors you think, why on earth can you not get both feet inside the court? You notice that they're just offering her the left hand every time Rowe touches it.
Oh, that could be good. It is from Pack. And it's back to a 6-point game. You know, it's only a matter of time before they find their range.
And again, you know, where's the defense? You've got to know your shooters out there.
And good play by Cox driving. Doesn't finish well, but Taylor there for the offensive rebound. And I feel a timeout coming from the Tall Ferns here if the North Koreans score. From the corner.
Well, Rowe, an excellent rebound. Kim made her threes yesterday. Not quite dropping today, but great fight from the Koreans.
New Zealand will retain possession.
Now what's the defense trying to tail Kim here through this pack through there? Well, the hands out, not bad defense at all from Taylor.
Well, the shot just falls. So timeout, New Zealand. This is a very uncomfortable game for them, especially seeing how their opponents, they're not going to go anywhere.
Great fun basketball. Now we're still getting some good looks and some good penetration. Now they're really locking into that high post. What we want to try and get is if we can't get on the first side, get the reversal, load up, hit the corner. Look at that dribble.
이동하라 이동 항공 공쟁체하라 공 알았지? 이 가고 이자처럼 공 항정아 연락 주고 이동해야 된다 연락 주고 연락 주고 연락으로 해야 돼.
전수 필요 없어. 잡은 사람이 이제 공부하다 내면 되거든.
Not really too much separating these two teams, Mick, on the evidence that we've seen. It's just been a matter of shot making.
You look at New Zealand made 3 threes. I think Korea have just made the one right now. It's small margins. North Korea come out and hit a couple of big shots, and we've got game on again. And New Zealand need to be very aware of how they track their opponents on the defensive end. You cannot leave space for these Koreans to catch and shoot, because they will get hot very, very quickly.
I mean, New Zealand 9 of 30 from the floor. One big difference, North Korea just 1 of 9 from 3. New Zealand 3 of 10, and that's the difference in the game. Obviously New Zealand as well, just 1 of 4 at the free throw line. That's not helping them. North Koreans 5 of 6. New Zealand are out rebounding North Korea at this point, 20 to 13. There's Rowe, passes, and the jump shot.
Wow, that was close. That was great offense, great look from Rowe.
And that miss was from Reed. Traveling, and a couple of turnovers from Palvast.
Wow, that's an unexplainable error. Unexplainable. Palvast was wide open in the corner, not spotted because the zone hadn't readjusted for Korea. Got it late and then turns it over. Inexplicable. Then making Rowe dribble left. Incredible. And she won't take the opportunity.
Oh, Pack, I mean, just a layup. Nobody switched over.
Our defense has just gone right out of the window for New Zealand.
Into Bygate. And Bygate, she's not finishing well.
Not at all, because she got subbed off with an earlier miss, didn't she? And that won't help her cause at all. They're going to get Harmon back in the game. That's a good move.
This is where Bygate has to be good. And nobody picks up again. And again, New Zealand just very fortunate.
Yeah, Ree missed a sitter there, didn't she? But again, where was the defense? Where was the help side?
Taylor tried to attack. Nobody coming from the weak side for the rebound.
The problem for Kennedy Kariyama, nice move there, is that once Purcell's on the bench, there's not much coming in to really give production for New Zealand.
Harmon, or you mean Purcell?
No, I mean Bygate.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Bygate in the low post is not as effective as maybe she needs to be. But he might get her the ball now. Let's have a
There
look.
she is. No.
And Korea have a big opportunity here. They've had a couple of good looks. The legs, love it. A little bit of confidence. Oh, great pass. Kim wasn't expecting it. What a pass from Jang.
Paul Voss wide open. And Bygate follows and still can't quite get it to go.
Wow, he couldn't get it. These players are going to be exhausted. I mean, like ice hockey, they might have to change the whole line.
Entry pass. Got to get the hand up. Kim wide open. I think Bygate might come out. She's gassed. Harmon and Stockhill.
All 10 players might come out. That was just up and down period. Zhang's exhausted. She's going to go off. She's just reaching down to her calf. But yesterday's game has taken a lot out of these Korean teams.
But this is where I tell you they really miss Panina Davidson. I mean, you're talking about a quality frontline center, even though she's still in college, plays big-time college basketball in California. So it's a huge absence.
Well, I think a big opportunity for Agnew too. Didn't play much yesterday. Now getting a chance to get in the game here.
Yeah, she didn't really do too much with her. She kind of calmed things down. Sorry, she calmed things down earlier in this game when she came in. But maybe
she's got a lot to prove. 8 minutes in a game against China, you lose by 20 odd. Leave her out there, coach.
I think she's got it in her arsenal offensively to do it. A little mid-range. And now it's a two-point game.
What a move. Did you see the crossover to begin with? Little right-hand dribble crossed over quickly.
Agnew finds Harmon down low, and that's the best offense is when you get the ball in her hands.
Yeah, exactly right. And that close to the bucket, it's all over. That's a smart play from the New Zealand team there. They got to keep doing that.
Oh, Harmon got away with a bump there, I think. Look at him attacking. Ott picks up the foul. It's not a bad foul.
Poor Rebecca Ott. She's probably saying, well, if you called the foul on Harmon, you wouldn't have had to call the foul on me.
Look at Harmon here. Great find by Agnew.
Yeah, and Rowe stays well out the way. Rowe wasn't actually gone. Rowe had to pick up the other center for New Zealand. That may left Harmon real mismatch at the back of the zone. That's a travel. Wow.
From the arc. And Rowe almost got that. Rowe thought
Jeff, they're a three-pointer away from really scaring this New Zealand team.
Look at Harmon turn, spin, put it up. Boy, she's carrying this team offensively. I mean, it's
scary.
You'd really worry about the Tall Ferns if she hadn't come back to play this year. Somebody else has got to step up. And now in a little bit of a rush. Now she had the shot, she just missed it. Now Cox for three. Quick shot. And Pack thought about going all the way. Ott hustled back on D. Kim, though, for three. Go!
I love it. I love it, Jeff. The punch in the air. Look at the intensity on her face. Look at the mismatch with Harmon, Jeff. Surely they're going to give her the ball. Feed me, feed me.
Stockhill's looking at her. Agnew will find her. Nope, they get it to Stockhill.
Great pass.
And then Stockhill misses. She follows it, misses it again. They have missed so many shots right at the rim today.
If I'm Jillian Harmon, I'm just going to walk away to everybody and say, give me the ball. Look at this three from
Kim.
It's got to be one of the Kims, isn't it? Yeah.
What is it about finishing that's so difficult, Mick? I mean, you're a big man. Used to.
It's nothing, Jeff. It's just a little bit more pressure on them. You know, everybody expects them to score. I'm that close. And it's just, you know, you just have these days where it doesn't go in, where you get back to the drawing board tomorrow, you get 100 shots in practice, and you just carry on.
This is where I see New Zealand moving forward. You identify the likes of Stockhill especially. She's got the length, the height. Look at the scores and the leaders. The top scorers, Pack with 12 today. Yesterday it was Rowe, today it's Pack. You know, from now until the World Cup, if New Zealand can somehow make it, they need Stockhill to come to Spain a better player.
I always say, you know, that when you're an athlete and you're training for events, something like the World Championship just drives you to work harder than everybody else. That's where you get up early, you go for your run, you get your 200 shots in, then you have breakfast, and you do it all before lunch as well. You just keep working, and you might get some working somewhere.
Harmon has the 9 points, Cox the 6. You know, and on this evidence, this North Korean team, I mean, they're in the reckoning. They're in the reckoning for a spot in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup.
Yeah, they're going to have to beat somebody, Jeff. They're going to have to beat somebody big, aren't they, in a quarterfinal? And that's
well, if they can win this game, I know. Then they have to turn around and play.
Well, they play China.
China. Okay, yeah. No, that's I don't see them winning that game. So then the likelihood is they have to beat either Japan or Australia.
Well, if they win this game, they'll avoid Australia, won't they? That's the be all and end all. The bottom line of this one.
And you'd get them a fighting chance against Japan. The way they play. Harmon puts it up, coming right out of the timeout. That's what you like to see.
I'm going to say it again. If I'm Julian Harmon, I'm going to go everybody in that. I'm playing on that floor with give me the ball.
Kim, her pass knocked away. Oh, and Rowe picks it up.
Great play from Rowe.
She's got quick hands.
Well, yeah, first to the ball on the floor. That's what you want to see.
Now Harmon turns, little jump hook. She's carrying him.
Feed the bear. Feed the bear. You got to get the ball inside every time. Oh, we got 42 seconds to get to one more offense.
And a three-pointer off the front of the rim. Now Harmon pulls up. She's going to take the jumper this time.
Here we go. Here we
go.
go.
The difference, Mick, is she's been watching the ball fall through the rim. She has got her rhythm now.
Yeah, you said she can heat up, and 6 points in a hurry.
Look at that.
Just out of that timeout.
7 of 11 now.
Yeah.
From the floor and 50 points. I don't think they want to take it too soon here. Pack. She misses. They get it back. Well, it's not going to cost them. And good hands from Harmon. And right at the end, how much time is there? They're going to put a second on there. They can look at the replay here to see how much time is left, but I think that's about right. 1 second.
You know what, Jeff? I'm not sure. I mean, a timeout for a second to get a shot from one end of the floor, one end of the floor to the other, and it's been before. Even if you turn it over, you're not really going to give up much because they're not going to get a shot off the other end of the floor. There's going to be a pass from one end to the other for sure.
Well, if you had Belinda Snell on this team, she could hit it for three-quarters, or Maya Palau of Spain.
Every day in practice.
We saw quite a few heaves go in almost yesterday, or almost go in. I mean, it's what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
You know, they did a great job coming back. They played with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And really, they've been one of the most fun teams to watch in this tournament.
You know, and for the reason being, you don't see much support from North Korea. You don't see many people from North Korea, full stop. So to see it here and see the level of talent they've got, it's very pleasing, very pleasantly pleasing.
I think they've got more talent, I think, than we expected, and certainly you can't complain with the sense of urgency that they seem to play with.
No,
but
no, exactly right. A lot of passion.
Well, they're going to try. What you don't want to do is throw it out of bounds. Well, that was a great attempt. You know, Stockhill catches it. She has a chance to turn and shoot it, but it went through her hands and hit her in the head. What? 32-25. The Tall Ferns lead the Democratic Republic of Korea at halftime. So New Zealand and Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the shooting stats.
Jeff, look at the numbers of twos taken and threes taken. Korea, 16 twos taken and 14 threes. It gives you an idea of where their emphasis lies on the three-point line.
And you saw those assists for New Zealand. That was 12-5. That was a little high. Didn't expect that. So we are at the break, folks. Vitally important game, it goes without saying, for both of these teams. We'll be back on in minutes. Second half coming your way here from Bengaluru, India. 32-25, New Zealand on top of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The team's warming up here for the second half, and the Tall Ferns trying to get a bad loss out of their system to China from last night. They've had some good moments. Much of that owed to the steely veteran, confident play of Jillian Harmon. But we already know what this opponent is all about. These North Koreans have come here and played hard, and they are making life very difficult for whoever they play. Yesterday it was Chinese Taipei. Today it's New Zealand. So we've got 20 interesting, exciting minutes ahead of us. So if you're watching this, and we know that you are, and we know where you are, we hope that you're going to be with us for the next 20 minutes. Mick, you know, these teams are, what would you say, they're very different in terms of size, different in terms of talent level, different in terms of approach?
Yeah, for me, New Zealand is struggling to find heroes or heroines, because Jillian Harmon, without Jillian Harmon, what she got, 17 points, 15 points, I'm not sure, out of New Zealand. So you took 50% of the production for the Tall Ferns in the first half. That's not what you'd expect from a team like New Zealand. You'd expect some sort of distribution that was a little more consistent and fair amongst the team. So somebody's got to step up outside of Jillian Harmon and be a producer. They've not shown me they can shoot the ball yet. 3 threes, but it's how many shots have they missed? And really inside, there's no presence without our favorite who gets into trouble, which is Kalani Purcell. As for North Korea, very dependent on the three-pointer. When they make it, they hit it, they're in the game. And when they're not making, they're just scratching to get back in the game. I think the second half, if Korea can make a couple of threes, then we've got game on. If they don't, and Korea and New Zealand come down and pump it inside, and we get more production from somebody outside Jillian Harmon, then they should be looking at a comfortable victory.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a big either. I mean, it could be Purcell, it could be Josie Stockhill, it could be Jess Bygate. But I think we've also seen that if you could put a Cox down low, even a Paul Vost, maybe,
down low.
Down low in the low blocks.
Well, they're going to play zone, aren't they, Korea? So that's not really going to work. I would go for more for Agnew. Agnew's the college player, much to prove. Let her run, let her loose a bit more, and just see where it goes from there.
I don't think necessarily he's put the shackles on her. I think it's up to her to really take the chance.
I don't think she's been given she wasn't given the opportunity yesterday. 8 minutes is not an opportunity really for me. But anyway, here we go.
So the second half action underway here from Bengaluru, India. It's the FIBA Asia Women's Cup Day 2. And it's a battle of 0-1 teams, New Zealand and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And they're going to go right back to Harmon. And Harmon is going to score.
Jeff, rightly so. I'm surprised that Paul Vost actually took a dribble away from Harmon, as if she was not going to give her the ball. Give her the ball. Full stop.
Yang. And now Tony Edmondson's going to hustle that ball down, and she's going to get it over to Purcell. And Purcell's going to not finish, but Edmondson is there, and she finally gets it to go.
Padding the stats. Get an offensive rebound with the 2.
She's like, coaches don't count those, though, do they? So a good start for the Kiwis. And Rowe gets in, scores with the left hand.
You know, I'm not sure that Purcell matching up with Rowe is a great idea. They could probably get away with giving Purcell to somebody else, or Rowe to somebody else. Because Rowe's just going to attack her every time.
Well, she's been so good inside. She drifted outside that time. Harmon had missed. Pack has been tough today.
Well, if Jang's smart, she's going to go right at Purcell, but
now Kim drives in for the layup.
Nice play. You know what? You cannot give the dribble penetration up, regardless of what's going on out there. You've got to play a little tougher than that.
Now Harmon is outside. They get it back to her. She finds Paul Vost wide open. No, she gets it to Edmondson. She turns. Good play, New Zealand, but she doesn't finish. Didn't really go to the basket.
No, didn't draw contact. Just went with a little jump hook, left it out there.
And almost turnover, but they get it back, and it hits the three, and it's back to a 4-point game, and you said it, a couple of threes go in.
I tell you, that's all they are, 1 3-pointer away from making this a very interesting game. Throw it inside.
Well, Cox is open, and she's off the front of the rim. Now Kim goes baseline, loses it, gets it back. Holbus doesn't need to reach. And offensive foul.
That's Rose third as well. Jeff Yang is the number 3 for Korea, being guarded by Purcell. She's got to understand the foul situation. This is a good little move here. There's a 3 from Ri, I think it is. Ri Jong-ok.
This is a North Korean team that just isn't going to go away. They're going to be nipping at the heels. Harmon, mid-range, and Edmondson goes up for the rebound. Tried to get that rebound with authority, and then as she came down, the North Korean player came in from behind her and almost knocked it away.
You just see what Harmon does next when she gets the chance. She's got to drive now. The jump shot's not dropping yet. Not warmed up this second half.
Well, Pavlos is open. And the kick, so they'll reset it to 14.
4-point game. New Zealand don't look as confident as they did the end of the first half. Harmon being fronted low post. There you go, get her the ball.
And she swings it to Cox. She's open, it's good!
Tough shot, Cox. Second 3 of the game, good.
Well, we've been waiting on somebody else. Maybe it's going to be Cox.
Well, she hit double figures yesterday, didn't she? 11 points.
And Zhang drives in and gets swatted by Harmon. Finally, New Zealand stopped the break. And look at Purcell. And Purcell drives in, and she's got to finish that.
Just took a little nudge that just got her off balance. Great look from Harmon, one side to the other, low, opposite wing. Great follow through from Cox. She knew she had to get back on defense quick because the defender had just sprinted through on the break.
And imperative, really, that she makes both for New Zealand here, even though they're on top. You know, you almost have a 3-point play. You want to come away with at least 2. And she didn't pull the string on that one. Harmon got in there and knocked it away. So good play again by Harmon. Now Edmondson over to Harmon, wide open. And Purcell had her hand on the ball, kept it alive. Good play by the Tall Ferns. And now, well spotted, the bump by Kim just threw a forearm right in the chest of Harmon. Harmon open, puts it up. And that time, Cox needed to rebound it. Instead, she batted it over to the hands of Kim. And Pak left open. Edmondson. Now I think Harmon's missed a few now, and we've seen Cox nail it. And here's another one from Cox, and that was front and back of the rim, and it stayed out.
Wow, he's out and out war under the hoop when the shot gets missed. I think the foul's against Kim, is it number 8?
You know, we haven't really we've spoken
foul.
so much about Harmon, but one thing we haven't mentioned about her was her terrific Italian League finals that she had. She played for Lucca, and in their 3 wins, she had 18, 19, and 19 points.
Well, she's got it in there, that's for sure. I just feel now she missed 3 jump shots this second half, all in a row. It's got to go on the floor to the hoop now. You got to attack.
I agree.
Hoop. Get yourself to the line. Get yourself in a rhythm of scoring, getting that ball in the net.
Edmondson has gotten to the free throw line. She just missed out, Edmondson, on making that Olympic team back in 2008. Came right before she kind of really cemented her place in the team. And she makes one of two. Got to get a hand up. Good. Pass it back out. Rhea again. Go! Boy, she is on fire. She's got the hot hand today.
That was the biggest lead of the game, Jeff. Now we're back to 6 again, and another three-pointer gets them right back in it.
I think Kariyama must be thinking, who's this Rhea? And what a slick move that time from Purcell.
Well, no row in the game as well. Nobody to dominate inside. They're all guards for Korea.
And Kim this time off, and Purcell grabs it.
A huge game
Cox
yesterday for her.
passes up to Paulbach. Came close to walking there.
It was indeed. It wasn't a great clean catch from Paulbach. Throw it inside.
Purcell bounce pass. Beautiful play by Purcell. Gives it off to Edmondson.
Well, now the screw is getting turned because they're finding ways to score in terms of layups for New Zealand. They've just got to guard that three-point line. Keep the penetration down and get to the three-point line, close out.
But how about Purcell twice in a row making big plays down low?
It goes back to your point about staying out of foul trouble, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So important.
They get it to the cutter, and then
it's a good call, this. A little push in the back from Edmondson as Kim went to the hoop.
I mean, it's going to be a tough shot.
Here we're going to see this play, this
Look
little
at this.
wrap-around pass.
And good finish from Edmondson.
Now in the first half, they were getting a lot of those plays, but missing layups, weren't they? Now they're going down.
Taylor and Agnew check back in for New Zealand. And Kim doesn't get any love from the rim. She's only got 2 points. She's the captain. She's struggling today compared to yesterday. She's missed all 3 of her attempts from deep. And it's just 1 of 5 from the floor. And misses both. Now Agnew. See if she can turn it up a notch. Well, she was pushed by Kim. And that was well spotted by the ref. Just gave her a needless shove. She's like, what did I do? But you've just given the other team a chance to go to the line to make a couple of free throws. I've been singing her praises, and she misses the first free throw, Agnew.
Yeah, I know. It's a good chance for her to sort of settle her nerves, really. Good opportunity for her now with 3:40 left in this third period.
Utah Valley State alum. Biggest lead of the game for the Kiwis, 11 points. North Korea looking for some offense. They put it up from deep, and Purcell catches, hands off to her sister. Take it, big sis.
I'm not sure Taylor was expected, to be honest with you.
Cox, nice. Well, look at Harmon getting into position and Kim fouling. She was wrapped up, and she gives away a lot of inches there.
Well, Kim Un-jong just dragged her down. Watch this to your right of your screen. From behind. You don't see actually Kim pulling her down, the number 6. Just very little cynical. And Kim's going to line up on the bottom of the free throw. I mean, be honest with you, if you missed the free throw to the left, now they've balanced things up a bit.
They just are a different team when they can't have Rowe on the court.
Yeah.
There's no question. Harmon continues.
And it begs the question, why Rowe's not out there, Jeff? Does she have 3 fouls?
Rowe has got 4 fouls, in fact.
4 fouls, okay. That
but
would explain
when
everything.
it comes to Rowe, you never know. We thought she'd fouled out yesterday, and she came back in the game.
1 extra.
Long one. And Agnew did a good job of boxing out, and then she got the rebound over to Taylor. Harmon. Oh, they find Purcell. She just turns. She scores.
Come on.
But an offensive foul. She was underneath the basket. How do you call that? She was in the keyway.
Well, this is exactly what she's saying.
Look at this. She's right in the keyway.
Well, you know what? That's a foul. I'll agree with that, but she is I'm not sure the rule applies to an elbow
Under the key?
under the key, yeah. And it's a good one to ask the referees, though. What? You know, it's a no-charge zone, but
Well, we have to ask referees after this game an explanation. But another chance for the North Koreans. Reed's drilled a couple. Now here's Kim. Another Kim. She drives in, puts it up with the left hand, and coming over from behind. If I'm Ree, I'm looking for my shot.
well, the problem is, Jeff, now without Rowe in the game, they've got no inside option, so everything's on the perimeter. So therefore, you can afford to get up and overplay the three-pointer, make them put the ball on the floor, rely on your help. Whatever shot they take in the lane is going to be tough against taller players.
Now, Mick, we talked about somebody stepping up. Purcell's done it here in the third quarter. Here she is. And her cross court almost stolen.
They're trying to get the ball to Harmon on that weak side, which is fair enough, but that was a tough pass to make. There you go, same play, get Harmon the ball.
Inside to Purcell. She puts up a little short jumper. Soft shot, but didn't fall. And then the ball goes off. Looked like Harmon dribbled it off or threw it off her foot.
Well, she gets a great offensive rebound. Probably thinks she's not in a great position to try and score. Good defense here on the inbound.
Look at this.
Throwing it away.
And Agnew comes up with it. She gets it to Cox, her partner in crime. And back to Agnew.
Oh, beautiful
She's going to
play.
take it. She puts it up left-handed. And Harmon couldn't rebound. North Koreans dodged the bullet there. And Harmon gets the bump.
Sometimes you play against teams and you think everyone I'm guarding is going to small, quick, and going to drive on me. Therefore, the taller players hate it. Give me somebody that doesn't move as quick, a slow-moving object.
Purcell checks out, so she'll take a breather. I would imagine she'd come right back in at the start of the fourth.
Well, that's great defense from Edmondson. I think that's referee's not quite seen that correctly. I think Pax took that last.
Yeah, I thought so as well, but have to see the replay. Now, Kim. An offensive foul, moving screen on Kim.
Yeah, the Koreans love the screens just to release a shooter on the perimeter. Kim that time just a little too enthusiastic moving away. Moving as the defense rushed by.
That was Kim Ryu Jong, by the way. We've got so many Kims.
As opposed to
The other Kims.
the other four.
Yes. Inside, Harmon passes it back. She's going to put the pressure on. They're going to keep circulating it. It's going to be Cox off the back of the rim. Long rebound by Harmon, so they get a new 14. Agnew.
That's New Zealand without a true presence inside, isn't it? Can they get the ball to
Agnew's
Harmon?
open, pulls up, and well, see the rebounding differences between both teams. New Zealand with 16 more total. Also from a two-point shooting standpoint,
Well, New Zealand, look at that, 32% from the two-point line.
but a lot more
Inside.
attempts. Three-pointer. Boy, that was needed. You know, they've been sitting on this 13-point lead for a long time, New Zealand, and they haven't been able to add to it. They've left the door open. They could have slammed this thing shut.
I'm inclined to bring Purcell back to start the fourth quarter. There's no point bringing her back now. Just being a bit of an X factor for New Zealand. Take it to the hoop, take it to the end here. Harmon's walking off, Jeff. Look at this. She wants a sub. She's walking towards the bench. They're still playing.
She has to hustle back. She wanted to come out at the end of the quarter to sit.
I think it was more a frustration call to the coach. Get me out.
Okay. And traveling. So 4 seconds on the clock for New Zealand here.
A carrying call, Jeff. Another one. I think it's against Yang as well, isn't it? Kim, perhaps.
Haven't seen Stockhill yet here in the third quarter.
Well, I think when Purcell went out, Jeff, Kiriana went for a smaller lineup. He didn't want to replace like for like. I don't think they got much production out of Stockhill and Bygate the first half. He said, well, okay, I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with 5 guards out there and leave Harmon on the road inside. Here we go. This is what he's going to say here.
Edmondson with 9, Harmon with 9 rebounds. So Harmon will finish with a double-double. Probably Edmondson will as well. Edmondson has, well, she's only got 5 points, but she's got a chance. Chang with the 7 boards, Rowe with the 6, but obviously the big thing for North Korea is they haven't had Rowe. And this is where New Zealand haven't really fully taken advantage of it.
No, exactly right. You mentioned it, 13 points
and now
hanging
she's
around.
back.
And then the 3 with 4 seconds to go.
If I'm New Zealand and I see Rowe out there, I might try to get inside and go straight at her. Get her out of the game.
Absolutely. I see no reason to have Rowe in the game right now with 4 seconds on the clock.
To play defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, Cox brings it across midcourt. She's not going to launch it. Nope.
It's a shame for Michaela Cox there. Just no idea what was on the clock. She had the ball, so you got to pull up.
She's got to shoot it.
Make or miss, you got to pull up.
So at the end of 3 is New Zealand leading at 48 to 38 over the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So look at the three-point shooting, 4 of 17 for New Zealand, and People's Republic of Korea, 5 of 20. So New Zealand doing just enough to keep in front. You know, the reason why I highlighted the three-point shooting for New Zealand, they do have a player who made her only attempt today from the left corner in the first half, and it was Ott. She's 1 of 1. She's got the 3 points. She's played just under 6 minutes. So, you know, maybe that's a player that needs to kind of figure into this a little bit more.
Yeah, I think if you go back to Agnew's 8 minutes yesterday, there's an element here that I don't think Kiriana really knows who he can rely on, and therefore different players are seeing more time in different games. He knows he can rely on Harmon, Purcell definitely, Edmondson. There's 3 players there that give you a consistent effort. Outside of that, Michaela Cox, another one, of course. Outside of that, he's searching around for the consistency.
I think across the board, Paul Voss is a player that can help this team more than she does. And maybe she will as she gets more experience. I mean, she's in the starting lineup, and she's got the ability. And without question, the collegians that come back, you would expect if they were able to get to the World Cup, they would be there next year.
Well, if you look at the 4 I mentioned, you're right, Jeff, because Paul Voss is the 5th player on the floor with Cox, Edmondson, Purcell, and Harmon. So that probably is the strongest 5 that New Zealand have.
And we haven't even said Erin Rooney. I mean, she's a big absentee. Yeah. Shooting guard, boy, she would really be a zone buster. But injury-wise, she wasn't able to go. So that's a huge loss for them.
Not a very elegant way to get the ball in bounds for Korea. Here's Rowe going to a left hand, but not very much.
And she has the tough assignment going up against Harmon. Kim turns into the lane, passes back out. The other Kim. And look at the rebound from Harmon. That is a woman's rebound. She goes up strong. And that's how you have to be. I didn't want to say a man's rebound.
She's tough. She's tough. What's the rebounding numbers, Jeff? I'll look it up.
She's double digits now. She just had 9, so she's got a double-double. She's got 10. There's Cox.
Wow, if Evanson has stood her ground, she's been wide open under the bucket instead of settling for 3. Not knowing where the ball is, not knowing where you are, that's an important part of basketball.
This North Korean team isn't done yet. They're probing. You know, they can get hot.
Not at 10 points, Jeff. Absolutely no way.
Rhee has it. Purcell harassing her a bit. Yang open. And Purcell flies in for the rebound. I think it helps New Zealand's cause that she's back out there. Here's Paul Voss.
Absolutely. That's a real consistency in Kalani Purcell.
She needs to post up. Just get her the rock. There she is. Let her go to work.
We're looking for this high-low.
Look at this. Get in there. And now up to a 12-point lead, the biggest of the game for the tall firm. No, they were up by 13, weren't they?
Yeah, that was the biggest lead. And then pegged back straight away with a 3 from Korea. So Korea's got to get themselves on this board here.
And the jump shot into the hands of Harmon.
Run, push the ball up the floor. Harmon says, let's walk it up, but I don't think that's the strength of New Zealand. They've got to get some quick
easy
buckets
ones
here, yeah.
Well, you're up 12, though. You don't want to be in a rush, right?
I just think they've got to play a bit more speed.
Oh, nice pump fake from Cox. And then she goes in, and the lead goes to 14. North Korea right now on the ropes. Make no mistake about it.
And that's what I'm saying. If you up the tempo a little bit, this game will just about close itself out.
Now Kim puts it up, misses off the glass. I want to see Purcell bend those knees a little bit more in that defensive stance.
Jeff, is the difference between Australia and New Zealand. Australia run every chance. Get the ball down as quick as you can. Then you run your half court.
Here she is. She can pass it. Watch this. She pulls up. She's the threat. She's the player they need. The lead goes to 16.
She's not passing anything, Jeff.
We couldn't really see that against China because they're a little bit bigger than this Korea team, North Korean team. And this is where New Zealand need to deliver the knockout, whereas the Koreans, they are in desperate straits here. Look at this, the replay from Purcell, the soft touch. She's been a difference maker here in the second half. And once again, we have to revisit the topic of her being smart with her fouls, especially early in the game. She had picked up a couple today in the first 4 minutes.
All right, I'm going to give her some credit because one of the fouls was guarding Rowe, who drove right-handed quickly, and obviously the scouting report says she's going right. Okay, let's overplay it. So Purcell got caught out. The one I argue with Purcell was on the offensive rebound. She missed a shot and then chased after the loose ball. There's no way you're reaching in there. That was a dumb foul for her.
And then you get the
unquestionable
foul. But then you get the unquestionable, and then you get the questionable foul out on the perimeter. Was that a foul? She was playing defense.
Which one was that?
The third foul.
No, that foul was in the low post. Just a little nudge on Rowe.
How did she pick up her third?
That was the low post foul. Just a little nudge on the back.
Gotcha.
That was the unlucky one, I thought. The one you might have said, yeah. The dumb one was the offensive rebounding foul.
Oh, sorry, she's got 4 fouls.
Yeah.
Keep facing up.
So there must be one in the third quarter.
I missed the other one. Who's doing these fouls? Anyway,
she picked up
does
Rowe's
she
foul
have 4
from
fouls?
yesterday.
Yes. This Korea team just is so reliant on Rowe. She's not out there and is perhaps a bit tired.
And again, look at the three-point shooting, Jeff. That's a key element to their game. What are they, 5 for 24? They're getting, that number's escaping they've shot more threes than twos now, so that's not a good sign.
You worry for New Zealand, though. You look at their free throws, 6 of 12. It's an area where they can...
Well, and what worries you? The fact that they're 6 of 12 or the fact they've only shot 12?
Both.
That would worry me.
Both, in fact.
Against a team like Korea, with such a dominant size advantage.
Oh, North Korea just lost it, just fumbled it away, and Tony Edmondson said, "Thank you very much, I'll take it." And gives it to Cox.
And again, Jeff, a turnover and you don't fast break, it's you've got to run the ball down the floor. Look for easy stuff first instead of having to set up every time.
Cox catches it. That's short. Purcell coming from behind, and then Edmondson. First foul on New Zealand here in the fourth quarter.
I'll go back to what I said. Look for breaks first, and then you can run your set. Otherwise, you're just walking the ball up and you're playing half court every time down the floor. If you can't run off a turnover, then you're never going to run, are you?
Yeah, that was Edmondson that had it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Pass it quickly.
Well, she's a good dribbler herself. She can bring it up. No problem.
And fumbled the ball away. Here's Edmondson. She's listening to you, Mick. She goes, she scores!
There you go.
And the Tall Ferns now up 18 points.
That's it. It's all it takes. Couple of quick buckets. Turn the screw a little bit.
I'm not seeing that, Mick. I'm not seeing it. But that's a great finish, without question. Yeah.
There was a bump. There was a bump. No problem at all with that.
Watch this.
Maybe it could have been waved away by the referees, but
maybe it might not have been called. Maybe
yeah.
You can see perhaps why they called it. Edmondson back. Without question, Rowe. It was a great finish by her. And these are must-make free throws the rest of the way.
She's double figures again today. 13 points for Rowe, 7 rebounds. She'll be the tournament's leading scorer, I'm sure. Nice play.
That's just a terrific play by Purcell, knowing where it has to go, and Harmon is just absolutely immense.
Yeah, great understanding from the veteran there.
Oh, look at the spin from Rowe. She says, I'm the all-star out here. Forget everybody else.
And where's this been all game? You know, set him up to the left hand and spin to the right. Nice play. Harmon's wide open. Right down the middle of that zone. And she's still wide open. There you go.
She puts up a tough shot, though.
Yeah, that could have been better executed, that's for sure. You got to take it through. Get to the line. I keep saying it. Draw some contact.
And Cox did a good job defensively following Zhang as she went baseline. Now Purcell gets inside, puts up a tough shot. Boy,
nice play. Nice play.
She has really been strong.
Realized nobody's going to come over and help, and just used her body to ease her way in there.
Meanwhile, she's now got 11 points, 7 rebounds. And traveling, boy, that is a tough, tough call for the Koreans. Look at this, Purcell. Look where it goes off the glass.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just on the left corner of the glass.
You might say a little fortunate, perhaps, because he's not left-handed,
but she's finishing well.
She'll take everything, yeah.
I'd say she's finishing well. She's finishing well in the second half.
Yeah. Give it a ball.
Look at her whip it out to Cox. Now, inside to Harmon. And Harmon just keeps on keeping on.
Nice play.
She's 23 points to go with her 12 rebounds.
Jeff, if I have a criticism of Kalana Purcell, she threw whipped that pass over to the weak side. When you make that pass, you got to get into a gap and get the ball back again. But she stood still and let the Korean defender stand right in front of between her and the ball. You've got to be moving. It's all pass and move against the zone. Find the gaps.
Let me ask you a question. Is now a time to sit down some of these starters, or you keep them out there because they seem to be in a good rhythm?
Good point, Jeff. You got that coaching hat on. Yeah, you bring them out. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, because you need to continue to develop your team. They still need 1 or 2 other players to kind of, if you look at the foul situation.
I agree with you.
You need some other players to get some experience. Ott, for example, and Agnew, clearly 2 players that can help this team, as well as Stockhill. And maybe get Bygate back in there.
Yeah. And you know what? You got 4 minutes left. You could risk a minute and a half to see whether Korea are going to make a run against your second 5. Well, Taylor's going to come in here, which is good to see.
Let's go straight to a corner clear. And what we're looking at,
Yeah, Taylor, one of the holdover or one of the players from the 2008 Olympic team.
Well, and again, it's a player that hasn't played much this second half. So get her in there, get her some experience, get her some confidence.
I mean, maybe what I do is I leave Ballbust out there with Bygate, Ott. So you've got kind of a perimeter-based team.
Well, Bygate's not coming in, and Stockhill's not coming in. Franklin's not coming in.
He's going to leave the same team.
Pretty much.
I'm just going to go walk down by the bench and say, Kennedy. Kennedy, come on. You got to get some of these others into the rhythm of the game.
And they'll play Korea tomorrow, right? That's going to be an exciting game.
That is.
No, it's not Korea. It's
no, it's
Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough game.
The tongue salivates. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It whets your appetite.
Maybe Kennedy give it one more minute, just make sure this game's dead and buried.
Well, good hands. If it ain't dead and buried, excuse the language, when you're up 19 with 3:50 to go. I guess there have been some comebacks from that before, obviously.
Oh, sure. No,
it's unlikely.
And as coach, you never really want to leave anything to question. I understand that too.
You know, Captain Kim, oh, look at that move again. And Harmon reaches in and commits the foul. She doesn't want to show up the ref here. Don't show up the ref.
As soon as Rowe has done the spin move and just got maybe
don't put too much,
a couple of inches on you, you can't reach.
Don't give too much dissent. You might see these refs down the road. You believe that you're right, but they don't like to be shown up either.
No.
They just couldn't get Captain Kim going today, could they? Here's Rowe.
That's a foul more than the first one, that one.
Yeah. Ree hands it off. Pack spins. Oh, that was a good move from Pack.
Beautiful execution.
Now, Mick, you don't mind taking a little bit of time off the clock, do you?
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. They'll just keep playing hard. That's why I think maybe the subs need to go in the game.
And also, they have to learn how to keep playing that way. So you don't want to play too conservative. Here we go.
See Purcell standing still here.
Look at that.
Got to be a bit more active.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're under 3 minutes to go. You don't think he's worried about goal differential, do you? A potential of a three-way tie. He might be, actually. And the three-pointer is good because if the North Koreans were to win, it's not out of the realm of possibility, although it's unlikely they would beat China. If you were to get into some type of three-way tie.
No, you could be right there. With a 16 differential. Well, now it's
Cox
19.
for three.
Yeah, surely you get him out now.
You got to shuffle him in. Get him in.
Here we go.
No, he's going to bring in Edmondson. And Rowe, bless her, I mean, she has played hard and given everything for her country the last couple of days. And she falls down there.
Jeff, what you're trying to, if he was, if you think about it, if there's a points differential, Korea were -1 yesterday. Well, there won't be a three-way tie, will there?
Well, they're -1 unless they were to get into a three-way tie with China.
Which is not going to happen.
Well, no, I mean, you could also get into a three-way tie with Chinese Taipei.
And China?
No, Chinese Taipei say they lose today, but then they beat New Zealand tomorrow. But the Koreans would have to beat China. That would be their one win.
Yep.
Say New Zealand loses tomorrow against Chinese Taipei, and then Chinese Taipei lose today. Then you have 3 1 and 2 teams.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
And from New Zealand's standpoint, that wouldn't. It's unlikely.
Yeah.
Because you don't see.
all the starters out.
Yeah, I would too.
No,
we're just. All I'm saying is we're trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
He hasn't pulled them. because they're gonna have to play tomorrow, you know. And also, you don't want to risk injury. But anyway, I'm just being devil's advocate here, just for the sake of it.
I mean, for a three-way tie, two things got to happen. Korea got to beat China, or Chinese Taipei have got to beat Korea. And neither of those things I see happening.
The Chinese Taipei did beat Korea.
China, sorry, not Korea.
Oh,
China,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, Cox goes baseline. Oh, beautiful find of Purcell down low, but this time she doesn't finish. And then a push called on Rowe, and she'll leave the game. Oh, no, that wasn't Rowe, excuse me. That was on Pak. Well, I think the Tall Ferns are now home and dry, up 17. It wasn't comfortable, to put it mildly.
No, they've had to wear them down. I think Jillian Harmon and Purcell are being real keys in this game.
And Cox has hit a couple of shots, and there's another one. That's her third three-pointer.
And we got a 20-point game now, so it's a great performance. With the subs are coming in now.
Actually, I think that's her fourth three. Cox very quietly had a big game, 18 points. And the long one, no good. Bounces over the backboard. Goodness me. Is that not the quietest 18 points you've ever seen from Michaela Cox? 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, it's a good game for her.
4 three balls.
Double figures yesterday, too. Didn't play as well yesterday, maybe you'd argue.
She's watched the ball go in the basket today. Now here's Agnew. I would have liked to have seen this about a minute ago.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been debating. You're right.
I still think moving forward, Ott has a role to play because she looked good when she hit that three. And now into the corner, the three-pointer. So 51 seconds to go. Kalani Purcell asking for it. Purcell right at the line. Kind of a flat-looking shot there. And right at the line. It's just a case of Korea just not having quite enough today. You know, if they'd put out their performance that they had yesterday, this might have been a different story.
Well, if you don't hit threes, you're going to struggle, aren't you? With the number of threes they get through in a game, 27, you've got to get double figures, really.
And let's don't lose sight of the fact this is a team playing in Division B 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is a team potentially on the rise. Edmondson hits a three.
Wow.
New Zealand going to finish with a decent percentage from deep, 7 of 20 right now. There's Kim, and that is the ball game. So 71-50, New Zealand win it relatively convincingly in the end over the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Yeah, good victory there for New Zealand, Jeff. Look at the 26 threes and 27 twos. That shows you Korea's weakness, their inability really to balance those numbers up.
Look at that rebounding.
Yeah, it's 21 offensive rebounds for New Zealand.
I'll tell you,
only 4 for Korea.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you simply cannot say enough as you look at the turnover, steals, and blocks. 8 steals for New Zealand. You can't say enough about Harmon. I mean, 23 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block.
Well, here's the thing, Jeff. They've now found somebody to be the focal point for all their offenses, Jillian Harmon.
Well,
and
they knew that, didn't they?
Yeah, well, did they at the first half of yesterday's game against China? They obviously did.
They should have.
Yeah, they should have done. And if the second half was better, today was outstanding. When they play tomorrow, it will be everything through Jillian Harmon. And good to see as well, because then others will follow. You get the other stars. Michaela Cox comes in with her 4 threes today. That will roll over tomorrow as well. So great performance from the Tall Ferns.
Well, certainly a great performance in the second half for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. You know, more and more it looks like the key game for them was to get that what would have been at least a mild upset, but probably a big upset yesterday. They had the potential to get it against Chinese Taipei. Now their backs are well and truly against the wall, going up against China, and even then, I think they're out of it because they've lost to the two teams they would have to beat to that third place. So, in any event, you know what? You got to have winners and losers, and Democratic People's Republic of Korea, perhaps the hard luck losers yesterday, and that's tournament play. Now, the question is, can the Tall Ferns build on this win? Maybe the best thing that could have happened to them was to play China on the opening day, as opposed to potentially coming out and losing to Chinese Taipei and or this North Korean team, and having to beat a China team just to get to the quarterfinals, and then you would play
I think
Australia or whatever. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise they played China when they did.
Yeah, there would have been some soul searching last night about who's where's the responsibility to lie on this team, who are the leaders, and quite clearly today, Julian Harmon came out, as you'd expect, to be a leader on this team. And that will, as I said before, that will knock on in tomorrow's game. And Chinese Taipei, they're going to be in a tough game tomorrow.
So 71-50, New Zealand win it, and they will be in a much better mood today. I think they knew they were much better than how they played yesterday, and probably even for the first half today. They had some good moments, some shaky moments, but in the second half, we started to see the Tall Ferns start to gel a little bit and find their way. And the question is now, can they build on this and use it as they go up against what really is a pivotal game against Chinese Taipei? Because if they don't beat Chinese Taipei, the likelihood is they will face Australia or Japan in the quarterfinals, and that's the one you have to win to get to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup.
I think we're fairly confident Korea will play Australia, won't we? With Australia being unbeaten, Korea will probably struggle to beat China tomorrow. Korea's going to go 0-3 potentially, probably, and Australia will be 3-0.
True. That's right. Sorry.
So I think
no, wait.
quarterfinal.
Korea will play China, but I'm talking about who will cross over from this group to play Australia.
It should be North Korea. I can't see North Korea beating China tomorrow, right?
Okay.
They'll go 0-3.
That's true. That's the vital game.
So I'm looking at Australia, North Korea as a quarterfinal. That will be one that I think we can put in the books.
So 71-50, New Zealand win it. Thanks for watching, everybody.